So, why train your dog? Well, so that your dog doesn't get run over, doesn't cause trouble everywhere it goes, doesn't bark all day driving the neighbours crazy, or end up in the dog's home. But did you know there's also a compassionate aspect to training your dog? It's not just getting it to behave for us. Dogs are simply desperate for us to be their pack leaders, so we can make all the decisions for them and take away all their stress. Welcome to Wagging School. Dogs are pack animals. Bred from wolves, dogs enjoy social contact and have learned that an obvious chain of command is central to their survival. So dogs actually want and need a pack leader. In any group, one dog will take the position of leader, using postures, looks, and the odd skirmish to achieve it. But we humans often confuse our dog with our ambiguous behaviour, and that leads to a confused, often anxious, unhappy dog, desperate for us to be their leader and to take control. Insecure dogs bark when you leave them and get into mischief or try and escape. The easiest way for us to make ourselves their leader is to train our dog. I'm Chrissy. I've been training dogs since I was a kid, and I'm going to show you how to train your dog. Trained dogs aren't confused or frightened about their world because we're giving them direction and making them feel secure, just like a good pack leader would. And that's such a relief for you and your dog. So knowing that training is so important to your dog's happiness, what equipment do you need to start? The best leash is a 2-metre cotton webbed one, which is easy on your hands. Leather and chain leashes aren't gentle on your hands, so you will have problems when your dog pulls. Then there's a halty, which fits around your dog's nose like a horse's halter, so you can guide your dog around. Or a check chain, which when used correctly has an effective sound that usually gets your dog's attention. These you should only use for training. And of course, you'll want a normal collar to use the rest of the time. There's only one way a check chain works properly, and it's this way, with the long chain over the top of the dog's neck. This way the chain slides easily and loosens quickly. If you put it on the wrong way, it'll just get stuck and it won't work at all. And harnesses are not useful for training, as they just encourage the dog to pull. So now we know why we should train our dog and what equipment to use. The next question is, how do we train our dog? Training should all be done with a lot of kindness and positive encouragement. Your dog is only beginning to learn, so you must be patient. It's not doing anything wrong, it's just learning. Let's face it, we didn't know how to read or write when we were very young. We needed teachers to show us, and so does your dog. So keep lessons very short, just a few minutes a day, and always end the lesson giving your dog something easy to do, so you both keep enjoying it. Many dogs that end up in a dog's home come from owners who thought their dog couldn't be trained.
She's supposed to be a retriever, but she won't bring anything back.
He knows down, sometimes.
I think she's too clever. She just ignores me.
But as far as I'm concerned, all dogs can be trained. Dog training is simply a matter of steps, with visual and verbal signals. Dogs only use visual cues to understand each other, and they're always looking at us for similar cues to show them what we want. Visual signals are things like your body language, your foot near them stopping when walking, your hands giving signals, any movement of the leash, any pats, physically pushing your dog into position, you leaning towards them or walking towards them. And verbal signals are words. Sit, come here, stay, and your tone of voice, upbeat or bored. If you're having trouble training your dog, it's probably because you're giving it the wrong signals, the wrong body movements and the wrong tone of voice. So join me on Wagging School, where I'll show you the easiest and most successful ways to train your dog. And all you have to do is say it, do it, and reward it. See you soon. decided you want a dog, what sort of dog do you get? A purebred or a bitzer? A male or a female? Long-haired or short? There's so many breeds to choose from. So how do you decide which dog will suit your lifestyle for years to come? It's a big decision, and if the wrong choice is made, it's often a disaster for both parties.
How suitable and trainable a dog is depends on what it was bred for. Let's have a look at what breed might suit you. Welcome to Wagging School.
A dog show's a good place to check out most breeds because all the breeds get split into groups for judging based on similar behavioural traits, so you can get an idea of what behaviours might be hard for your dog to learn and what will be easy, which can help you decide. There's the toy group. Most of these were bred as lap dogs, so they're quite easy to manage, if not a bit noisy. The terriers who were bred to hunt burrowing animals, so they all love to dig. They're a lively bunch that can be stubborn, but will train up very well. The working dogs are the sheep and cattle herders. This group can become obsessive about chasing everything that moves. They really do need to be trained and exercised to be truly happy. Hounds were bred to hunt independently by scent and sight, so need a lot of exercise and are often more challenging to train. Gun dogs are also hunters but were bred to work alongside people. They're also an active group, but by and large, very easy to train. Utility dogs were bred for rescue, guarding or pulling sleds. They're strong and some can be a bit of a handful for the novice trainer. The non-sporting group is a catch-all of the rest of the breeds, like the poodle, who's well known for its easy trainability, and the Great Dane, a real gentle giant. Then away from the breed show, there's lots of crossbreeds, and they're all simply a mixture of some of the purebreds. All dogs come with breed-specific behaviours which greatly affect your dog's personality and trainability. Often a dog's instincts to do what it once was bred for gets it into trouble today. You may not want your dog rushing in for a swim at every opportunity or being obsessed with chasing everything that moves. So some of your training efforts will be spent redirecting those behaviours. But once you know what a dog's bred for, then you can look at other very important factors like your lifestyle for the next 12 years or so of your dog's life. Things like, will children be living with you? Some dogs aren't that great with kids. And how active are you? It's extremely important to match your activity level with your dog's. If you'd rather sit at home, best you don't get an active gun dog, hound or working dog. And will the dog have company most of the time? And if you're never at home, do you really need a dog? Where you live isn't as important to the dog as having company and exercise, so really you can have a large dog in an apartment as long as it's walked at least twice a day. When it comes to size, you'll notice that many small to medium-sized dogs were bred for hunting and herding, so they're pretty active and need a lot of exercise and training to keep them content. Whereas many large dogs were bred to sit around and guard, so they're not that active. Of course, when it comes to the crunch, the tipping point is the amount of food and the upkeep. And sadly, big dogs just don't live as long as smaller ones. Female versus a male dog. As most dogs are to sex these days, both sexes are a lot less aggressive. But given an opportunity, male dogs like to roam and explore, and females usually prefer to stay close to home. Then there's long hair versus short hair. Well, although short-haired dogs require less coat maintenance, I'm afraid that all dogs shed hair. Long-haired dogs do require a bit more effort to stop their coats from matting and to keep your house fur-free. Dogs that require clipping regularly shed a lot less and don't seem to cause allergic reactions. But whatever breed of dog you prefer, it's best to get ready for some dog hair. It's just part of the package. Puppy or adult? If you're not at home a lot, an adult dog will be easier. Puppies need a lot of patience and company to get them started on the right track so they don't bark all day or chew through everything. Adult dogs can be left alone for much longer than pups, and generally they've been house trained, so you can start training them immediately. No matter what breed or mix you choose to fit in with your personality and lifestyle, for you and your dog's health and happiness, do take it for a walk twice a day, even just round the block. It'll help you both stay calm and relaxed. And for both your sakes, if you can spend just 5 minutes every day training your dog, it'll get to use its inherited skills in a positive way.
You're going to have your dog for many years, so please take your time choosing. See you next time on Wagging School.
Thinking about buying a dog and already decided on a particular breed? Great! Now, wouldn't it save a lot of time and trouble if you could easily identify which particular dog in the shelter or litter that'd be the easiest to train?
Well, guess what? There is a test that'll help you find out. Welcome to Wagging School.
I'm going to test a gorgeous litter of 7-week-old Weimaraner puppies to find out which ones would be best suited for experienced owners and which ones best suit families or older people.
The tests show up a range of personalities from outgoing to shy, which helps you choose the right dog.
There's a few rules to make this test work. Things like you need to test pups one at a time and only the first response counts. Okay, I'm here at the test site and the owner will bring out one pup at a time to be tested. See if you can guess which one might be the most trainable. This test shows a dog's confidence and its interest in people. Pup in the orange collar is happy to go to a complete stranger. Maroon collar is definitely not. Quite the opposite. Scores are marked from 1 to 6, with 1 being confident and 6 being aloof. You can see the difference already in this litter. This shows a dog's willingness to follow a person. Most pups, like yellow collar here, are very happy to follow. But will maroon? No. Putting a dog on its back shows a dog's dominant or submissive tendencies and how easily it can be handled. Orange collar is squirming and resisting, so is purple and yellow, but maroon is staying very, very still. This exercise shows a dog's willingness to be dominated by a person. And purple collar is showing it's very willing. So is orange, blue and yellow, but not maroon. Okay. This test shows whether a dog will accept being dominated when not in control, like being lifted up by a vet. Blue is very calm, so is orange, purple, yellow, red, green, oh, and even maroon. Great. Now, this is a pretty important test because it shows how willing a dog is to do something for you. Okay, that's amazing. Orange collar pup happily retrieved for me for the first time in its life. Red collar wasn't interested. Neither was green. And what do we think maroon did? Yep, nothing. This test shows a dog's sensitivity to touch and indicates what training equipment might be needed. I'm gently squeezing the webbing between the toes and counting until the pup reacts. Red, orange, yellow, purple and blue squirmed after only 5 seconds, but maroon never did. Interesting. This tests the dog's sensitivity to sudden noises. Okay, all heard and located the sound. Good. This test shows a dog's response to a moving object like an animal, a bike or a car. Blue collar pup went straight to the moving object. Orange, yellow and red bit or pawed it. Green wasn't interested. And maroon? completely ignored it. This last test shows if a dog has a startle response to strange objects. Orange and purple went to investigate the umbrella. So did blue and green. And maroon? Seems it was just another thing to ignore.
Few puppies end up being just one number. They're usually a mixture of scores. But if you want one that's really easy to train, look for one that's mainly 3s and 4s. Like you. You look perfect. Oh, you're so gorgeous.
So which one of these 7 very cute pups did you think would be the easiest? And which one the hardest to train?
And just for fun, you might like to test the dog you have now and see what personality type it has. You might be surprised. See you again on Wagging School.
So you've just brought your puppy home and discovered there's a few behaviour problems that need fixing.
So you probably need some help. Welcome to Wagging School.
Apart from toilet training, which is really just toilet timing, that's taking your pup out to the same spot for relieving itself after every meal and drink, there's a couple of concerns that face all new dog owners that often need some work, like chewing everything in sight, including you, and preparing your pup to be left alone. Puppies that snap at hands, clothes, or furniture can be very difficult to live with. So teach your pup to chew on its own toys by praising it when it does. Your timing is important, so the second they look interested in an unsuitable object, disrupt their thoughts with a word like toy and give them their favourite toy. This gets them thinking about their toy instead of your favourite table leg. They're just teething after all, and they think everything is theirs to chew. Give them large bones or something that's virtually indestructible and can be filled daily with some food the dog has to spend time and energy trying to get out. Dogs can't tell the difference between old and new shoes and old and new furniture. So keep all temptations out of their way and never leave an unsupervised pup with clothes hanging on the line. With many of us busy and often away from home, it's essential to teach your pup or dog to cope with being left alone. An anxious dog will bark if not trained, and it's harder to stop when you're not home. So don't wait until you're actually going out to train your dog.
Bye-bye. You have a good day. I'll see you later. Okay?
Many people make the mistake of being obvious and showing the dog that they're leaving. No wonder their dog looks so unhappy at them going and starts to bark. Here's a much nicer way to help your dog be content. Home alone. After your pup has played and is a bit tired, put them where they'd be if left alone, like in a secure yard or in a laundry. It's better not to give your pup the run of the house when you're out. Pups, believe it or not, like small spaces. It makes them feel secure. A radio on in the background helps too. Get them to go onto their bed, quietly give them a treat that'll take a while to eat, then leave them, closing the door on them. You're trying not to excite them. Leave them for 20 minutes at a time. If there's no whining for 20 minutes, you can go in quietly or even bring them out.
Stay there, you're very good.
But if they start to whine or bark, go to the door, say something in an annoyed voice like, "Be quiet," and go away quietly. Repeat your annoyed voice if your pup keeps crying. Whatever you do, don't go in and see the crying pup, because that's a reward, so it'll quickly learn to whine to make you come in. If whining or barking only gets an annoyed reaction from you, It'll soon stop whining and settle down and go to sleep. You want the pup to learn that every time it cries, you get annoyed and leave it alone. But when it's quiet, it's rewarded with a visit from you. Do this every day and build up the time you leave it alone to 3 hours. And you won't have a dog with separation anxiety. Instead, you'll have a dog that feels secure, thinking you're really home somewhere in the house, so it'll handle being home alone and won't ever fret and bark. And please never make it obvious that you're leaving your dog home alone. Not until you have a very relaxed, quiet dog who's used to being alone for hours. So if a little bit of tiptoeing around keeps you, your neighbours and your dog happy, I'd say it was a small price to pay. See you again on Wagging School. Does your dog seem to have really made itself at home? Maybe a little bit too much? Sometimes it can be like living with an annoying house guest. Right from the start, it's so important to teach your dog some house manners so your dog's a pleasure to live with and not a nuisance. Welcome to Wagging School. Okay, here's the tip. Right from the first day you bring your dog home, you have to make a big decision and not change your mind later. Do you want your dog to always be able to get on beds, chairs and sofas? Yes or no? Sorry to tell you, but dogs don't care whether it's an old sofa or a new one, or one chair or another. So the choice is yours. Start its life at your house with firm ground rules and you'll both be happy. Dogs that are allowed to get up on furniture often become territorial. That's because they no longer think of you as a leader. So after a while, you'll probably end up being the one that ends up on the floor. Not a great result, really. To regain your leadership status and stop your dog jumping up on furniture, just sit down and as soon as your dog starts to jump up, calmly push the dog away and say, "Off," in a good strong voice. Off. As soon as your dog understands what you want and you don't have to push them down, praise them well. Your dog will soon stop jumping up and settle down near you on the floor. And really, that's all it takes. Once your dog understands what you mean by the word off, you can use it from then on. Now, when it comes to letting sleeping dogs lie, not all places are suitable. The tops of stairs and doorways are obviously not safe places for your dog to be. Take your dog by its collar while it's lying down and tell it to move. Pull it up and take your dog to a comfy place out of the way. If your dog keeps returning to its new favourite place, you too must keep up the game and keep moving it away. As soon as it's settled, praise it and walk away. It will quickly learn this as long as you're consistent. A similar problem arises when your dog is around at meal times. All dogs are opportunists and soon learn that some people will hand feed them if they keep nearby and look pleadingly at them. But if you give in to this begging, even once, your dog will try everyone and then start to help itself. It'll even learn to bark at you to make you give in. Begging dogs often progress to stealing food off tables or starting fights over food. To stop your dog learning to beg, it's much easier to never give in the first place. And only ever feed your dog via its bowl and at the same time every day. But if it's too late and your dog's already started begging, you'll have to teach them not to. The words I use are go away. Put some treats on a low table so your dog can see, smell, and even has a chance of getting the food. Start saying go away in a deep tone of voice. Go away. It's the tone your dog won't like, not the words. Right, now with the food on the table, sit down comfortably and act as though you're the only one who's going to eat those biscuits. Keep allowing your dog to get near the food, but keep it away with these words, go away. You're training your dog to learn that go away means don't touch the food in front of you, followed quickly by waving your dog away and blocking it from the food. And do make sure it never grabs the food. Then as soon as it moves away from the food, praise your dog well.
Good girl, sweetie. See? Not that hard, is it? Go away. You just got to keep doing it.
Yes, you have to keep repeating this lesson until your dog always obeys and ignores the food when it's told to go away. Eventually your dog will leave you alone when your food is brought out.
Go away.
If your dog already knows the word down, you can put both lists together and say, go away and lie down. It looks very impressive too.
So now your dog has learned some very useful lessons on how to be the perfect housemate. If only it were that easy with people. See you next time on Wagging School.
Dogs are pack animals, so naturally they need to socialise with other dogs. Sometimes this socialising can look a bit rough and even occasionally a bit frightening, but more often than not, it's all just good fun. But dogs that haven't learned to socialise well are often fearful of other dogs and people, which can lead to the dog being overly defensive. So if you don't socialise your dog properly, you will have problems meeting other dogs and people.
Socialising your dog is so important, but how to socialise it? That's the trick. Welcome to Wagging School.
Unfortunately, there are several things we humans do when we introduce our dogs to others that quite unintentionally cause trouble later on. You see, dogs, unlike us, communicate almost entirely by body language. An aggressive dog will lift its body up as high as possible to make other dogs believe it's dominant. Now, some owners inadvertently cause dog fights by keeping their dogs on a tight leash. This, unfortunately, lifts the dog up higher, which alters your dog's body posture to one of dominance. And that gives an unintended sign of aggression to the other dog. So when you walk your playful dog up to a slightly aggressive dog and keep the leash held tight, you've actually created a problem. You've set up your dog to give out the wrong signal that your dog wants to fight. So keep the leash as loose as possible when your dog meets another dog. And be careful with tangling up leashes. This can feel very threatening. And at the slightest sign of trouble, a hard stare, a growl, a lifted lip, happily call your dog away and walk or run away. Your happy tone of voice is very important, as that actually dilutes a tense situation. You know, the best way for dogs to meet for the first time is off-leash, in a neutral place like the local park. There's no territory to defend and they're not being held back or feeling threatened. And do try and avoid teasing your dog with food or toys when other dogs are around, as this can start antisocial behaviour and possessiveness. Discourage your dog too from standing over other dogs or staring at other dogs by deflecting its attention to something else or calling it away. This is all dominating body language which can easily get out of hand. Small dogs often have a problem with bigger dogs for this very reason. Big dogs, of course, are always naturally standing over little ones, and this natural behaviour can threaten small dogs. Often dog owners will worry too much about their small dog being stepped on by bigger dogs, so they keep lifting their dogs off the ground. Unfortunately, this doesn't help the socialisation process at all. Your little dog will immediately think it's far superior to the other dogs from that height advantage, so it'll be even more likely to become aggressive to other dogs sniffing around. But that problem can be overcome if you just keep your small dog on the ground and just push the bigger, less coordinated dogs away, so your dog doesn't get squashed. Hierarchy is very important to dogs, so if a scuffle occurs, most times the pecking order will be sorted out in seconds. Touching your dog when it first meets another sends a signal that you feel threatened, so your dog will want to protect you. Allowing your dog to continue to interact with all dogs will produce a happy, easygoing dog. Now, dogs of all ages also need to learn to socialise with children. And children need to know how to never hurt a dog. so there's not any danger of fear or harm from either side. Knowing your dog is safe with children, have a child meet your dog with its hand first, palms outward, so the dog gets to know them by smell. This is a non-threatening start. Dogs will move away from children or give a warning growl that they don't want any more attention. So children need to learn when to leave the dog alone too.
Training your dog to be sociable in any situation is an ongoing lesson, but it's usually one of the most pleasant. See you next time on Wagging School.
You're such a clever dog. You're such a beautiful...
Most of us like chatting to our dogs, and why not? It's part of the enjoyment of having a living companion. But unfortunately, dogs are like humans, quickly learn to ignore our excessive chatter, and that can lead to your dog learning to ignore you, more often than not.
So today's lesson is when you should talk to your dog and when you really shouldn't. Welcome to Wagging School.
It really doesn't matter what language we use. You have to be aware that dogs simply don't understand words. Yes, I know, your dog sits when you tell it to, but it's only because you've taught it to do that, using a word. In this case, sit, and made the action happen. If you had used another word like down, but shown your dog to sit when it heard that word, it would learn to associate that word with the action. See? Words mean nothing to dogs or humans unless they're associated to an identical action. Dogs crave their owner's attention, so dogs' behaviour, both good and bad, is a result of trying to get you to notice them. To a dog, your attention is the ultimate reward, so any reaction from you, even scolding, is better than nothing. Okay, now let's look at when a dog jumps up on you. By talking or touching it, you have just inadvertently praised the dog for jumping up. This dog has learnt to associate your pats and words with its action of jumping, so it thinks it's good to jump up. So if you don't want your dog to jump up on you every time it greets you, try this. Next time your dog jumps up on you, quietly turn your back on your dog. Don't look at the dog and don't talk at all to the dog. Ignoring your dog shows it that you really didn't like it jumping up at you. Do this every time, and as soon as the dog settles down near you, praise your dog. It'll very quickly learn that not jumping on you will get it the attention it wants. Easy, hey?
Come on, Georgie. Okay, so now you've seen when you shouldn't talk to your dog. Let's see when you really should.
A common mistake many people make is to think dogs are born knowing what you want. But pulling your dog around without any words from you isn't teaching your dog anything, and it's not very kind to your dog's neck. You can do this for years, but your dog won't learn a thing. You have to tell your dog what you want. But just like us, your dog needs to be trained to what the word means first.
Walking your dog is the best time to talk to your dog. After all, it's the time where you really want them to listen.
Dogs are smart, and once they've learnt that a word will soon be followed by an action, like a quick tug on the leash, then guess what? Your dog will start to anticipate, and when it hears the word, it'll know just what you want and how to react. Then once your dog is walking nicely, you need to talk to your dog and praise it continually so it gets lots of good attention and feedback. And look at the change in this dog's behaviour already. An easy rule of thumb to help you get this when to talk and when not to talk lesson right is don't talk or look at your dog at all if you don't like your dog's behaviour. And then when you do feel like talking to your dog, first get your dog to do something for you. Come here. Then you can chat away all you like, because this is exactly the right time to be praising it anyway. So really, you both win.
So knowing when to talk to your dog and when not to talk to your dog really is the secret to training your dog quickly. See you next time on Wagging School. Come on, sweetie. If there was only one phrase every dog owner wants their dog to know, it'd have to be, come here. Lucy, come. Good girl, darling. Lucy, come.
It's so important for your dog's safety to get your dog to return to you as soon as you ask, and it gives you and your dog much more freedom. Start this lesson indoors where it's less distracting. You'll need help for this lesson. Have your dog a bit hungry and on a 2-metre leash, and both of you sit on the floor facing each other about 2 metres apart. Your helper holds the dog's collar and you hold the end of the leash. Call your dog by saying their name and come or come here.
Lucy, come. Oh, that's good.
And guide it right up to you so you can put your hand through its collar. This stops the dog from trying to play chase me. Give it a treat and praise enthusiastically. Now you hold the dog's collar and give your helper the leash. Keep doing this lesson until your dog comes without any use of the leash. Only say come here once.
Lucy, come. Good
Then pull the
girl.
leash if it doesn't move. You want to teach your dog to react immediately, not when it's ready. Next, try this lesson without using the leash. This is a very useful game to play with your dog. Have your helper hold the dog's collar and you show the dog a treat. Then you go and hide in another room and call the dog.
Lucy, come.
As soon as the dog gets to you, give it the treat and lots of praise. And your dog will love this come here game. Then practice the lesson in more distracting places like the street. When you're just casually walking your dog on the leash and it's distracted with sights and smells, call its name and say, come here, as you give a quick jerk on the leash and then walk backwards, encouraging the dog with praise until it comes right up to you and you can pat it. Then repeat this lesson every day you walk your dog. You want the dog to learn to immediately turn and come towards you as soon as it hears come here. So the steps are, allow the dog to be distracted, say come or come here. If the dog doesn't react, quickly jerk the leash and pull your dog right up to you. Put your left hand through its collar and praise your dog well.
Good girl, sweetheart. Good dog. You're such a good dog.
Then practice this lesson in areas with lots of distractions. Remember, you have to make the dog turn as soon as it hears the words come here. That way you remove the time lag your dog has to consider its options.
Lucy, come. Good girl, darling.
It's you or that fun dog to play with, and you need to win. The last step to this lesson is to get your dog to come here off the leash. Only try this in a confined outdoor space like your garden. Have your dog off the leash and wait until it's preoccupied. Then call it. When it comes back, make a huge fuss and give it a treat.
Lucy, come here.
If it doesn't come back, go over and holding its collar, bring it gently over to the place you called it from. Then reward it and praise. Repeat any and all of these stages until your dog comes every time you call. Once it's well trained, you might need to give it a treat every time, but always praise it a lot.
Good girl. It's a huge relief to always have a dog that comes back to you, and it helps make the bond between you even stronger. Till next time, enjoy your dog. You are such a good dog, darling. You're such a good dog.
Okay, we all know our dogs love to go for a walk, but do you? Are you a bit over being pulled down the stairs and the street? Is your dog taking you for a walk again? Thankfully, there is a way to fix this, because no amount of pulling on the leash is going to work, especially if your dog is large and strong. Your dog is bound to win.
I'm going to show you a few ways to solve that problem. The word for today is heel. Welcome to Wagging School.
Heeling means your dog walks close to your left side without pulling, lagging behind, walking out wide or crowding you, on or off the leash. Heeling means your dog is paying attention to you to see which way you'll walk next. It's important for walking in busy streets, and it keeps your dog calm and manageable.
Okay, to start, you just need an untrained dog, a peaceful location like your garden, or a quiet spot in the park.
Start with your dog sitting on your left side on a 2-metre leash and a training collar. Fold all the leash over to your left hand and keep the leash loose so you're not restraining your dog. Have a treat in your right hand and show the dog the treat. Get its interest in the treat and keep the treat in sight near your left leg. Now, using an upbeat voice, say the word heel, and stepping off with your foot nearest your dog, start walking. Your dog should walk happily alongside you, looking at the treat. If your dog lunges at the treat, say heel and pull back on the leash with your left hand and praise. Keep repeating, heel, good dog, in a cheerful voice as you walk your dog beside you. Stop walking after about 5 paces and sit your dog if possible. Then give it the treat. Repeat, watching that the dog is walking nicely alongside your left leg. If it isn't, walk faster so the dog isn't crowding you for the treat. Practice this every day for about a week, then try it without treats.
Very good girl.
The whole point of heeling is to have your dog enjoy walking beside you. So you need to keep the leash loose and encourage your dog up to walk alongside you. Again, have your dog on a 2-metre leash with a training collar. Start with your dog sitting if possible on the left side. Holding most of the leash in your right hand, hold the middle of the leash in your left hand, but keep it slack on your dog's neck. Don't keep it pulled tight. And try not to move the leash unless necessary. Now, using an upbeat voice, say the word heel, and stepping off with the foot nearest your dog, start walking. Expect that your untrained dog will pull away in all directions. After all, it's not trained yet. So when your dog's shoulder isn't close to your left leg, say the word heel and quickly pull the leash to bring your dog back to your left side. You might even need to stop walking if your dog lunges too far forward. Sometimes slowing down your pace can give the dog the message that it's your pace that's important, not theirs. Now, when you need to turn, say your dog's name first. This will get its attention. Then say heel, then turn, wait a second for your dog to catch up, then walk off again, praising your dog for keeping up with you. After about 10 steps, stop and get your dog to sit. Repeat this lesson for about 5 minutes every day until the dog, on hearing the word heel, moves back to the right spot without being pulled.
Heel. Good girl, Lucy.
Well done.
I hope you enjoyed that. Have fun with your dog. I'll see you again soon. Good dog, Lucy. Such a good dog.
If you've ever been on the receiving end of a dog jumping up on you, you know that it can be annoying to downright dangerous, especially for little ones. And it's no use shouting or pulling your dog away. That's not showing it what you want. Instead, you need to teach your dog to greet people nicely by using an appropriate word and showing it what you want it to do.
I see the problem. Would you like me to take this dog and see what I can do with it?
That'd be great.
Right, this is such a common problem. And you know what? It's not that hard to fix. The lesson for today is sit. Welcome to Wagging School. Come on.
When starting a new lesson, always take your dog to a quiet place so you get its full attention. With your dog on a leash, show the dog a food treat and say sit while you slowly move the treat back over its head.
And sit. Good girl.
Most dogs will sit back just so they can see the treat. As soon as it's sitting, give the treat and praise it well. Repeat this lesson every day to reinforce it.
And Coco, sit. Perfect dog.
Sit. Good girl. Sit. Good girl. Once your dog is sitting for treats, take it somewhere with more distractions so it learns to sit anywhere and every time. Okay, with all the leash in your right hand and with your left hand free, walk your dog on your left side. Stop walking, say sit, and quickly pull up on the leash with your right hand while you push down on your dog's rump with your left hand. And praise your dog well. If your dog strongly resists, touch behind your dog's left knee and it'll quickly fold into a sit. As soon as it's sitting, praise it with a cheerful voice and give it a treat too if you like.
Sit. Good girl.
Keep practicing the sit again and again.
And sit.
Make sure when you're pushing your dog's rump down with your left hand, you're also pulling your dog up on the leash with the right hand.
Good girl.
Your dog will soon get the message to sit as soon as you stop walking because it's been looking at all the visual signs and sees the steps leading up to the sit like this. Your leg nearest the dog stops. You put all your leash in the right hand. You say sit.
Sit.
And if it doesn't sit quickly, you jerk the leash upwards with your right hand as you push its rump down with your left hand.
Girl, sweetie.
Then you
Good
praise your
girl.
sitting dog.
Good girl.
Okay, let's try it again.
Good girl, sweetie. Good girl. Good girl. And sit. Good girl, Coco. Good girl.
Every time it sits, praise it well so your dog knows you're pleased and it'll want to do it again and again.
Good girl.
Now I'm going to see if the owner can do this lesson.
Get ready again. Okay, forward.
Coco, heel.
Don't walk into your dog, walk straight. Straight as you like. That's much more comfortable for the dog. And stop.
And sit.
Excellent. Now you
Good
got it.
dog.
Big praise.
Good
Very good.
Very good. Okay,
Very
try
good.
it
So
again.
that's the rhythm.
Okay.
Now every time you meet people, you can get your dog to sit.
Sit, Coco.
Fantastic! So all you've got to be is persistent and consistent and you end up with the perfect pet. See you next time on Wagging School. Down. Excellent dog. Good girl, Beth. Welcome to Wagging School. The lesson for today is down, which teaches your dog to lie down. This is such a useful lesson as it gets the dog to know where it can lie down and sleep without being in the way, and it's a great calmer of energetic dogs. And it's a good one to use too when another dog is showing signs of dominance. If you can easily get your dog to lie down, it shows submissiveness, which quickly reduces any tension. Start this lesson in a quiet place around the house with no distractions. Have a treat ready, and with your dog on a short leash, get your dog to sit. Hold a treat in front of its face, and as you say the word down, slowly move the treat down onto the floor, away from your dog. Most dogs will lie down to get the treat. This dog seems more keen on the treat than what I'm trying to teach him. Okay, I'll try another method, without treats. First, I'm going to make him sit. Then, holding both his front legs and saying the word down, I'll lower his chest to the ground. As soon as he's lying down comfortably, he needs lots of praise, but I have to watch that he doesn't get up. Then I remind him with leash jerks and tone of voice that lying down is nothing to worry about. Down.
Good, so now he knows what I'm trying to show him and he's felt what it's like to lie down. Now he just might choose to lie down next time. Let's see.
Good boy.
So now I'm going to reintroduce treats, but this time I'm going to hold his rump down with my left hand, ask him to lie down like before, down, and hope that he wants to do it himself as I give him the treat with my right hand.
Good boy. Fantastic. It just goes to show you can never give up.
The next step is to get your dog to lie down and keep lying down until told otherwise. An easy way to practice this is to get your dog to lie down beside you when you're reading or watching TV. Have your dog on a leash, say the word down just once, make it lie down any way you can, praise it, then don't touch your dog for about half an hour. If your dog tries to get up or play, repeat the word down, make it lie down, praise it, and again ignore your dog. If you practice this every day, you'll have a dog that settles down very quickly and stays lying down. It's also a gentle way to show your dog that you're their leader, and once it knows this lesson, you'll soon notice that your dog respects you more. A well-trained dog can repeat an action anywhere, anytime. So next, take your dog to a park with distractions and practice getting your dog to lie down.
Good boy.
Remember, only say the word once, get it to do it, then praise
Down. Good boy, sweetie. Good boy. Good boy. Down.
it. Make it a fun lesson by walking your dog and suddenly saying, down, quickly pulling your dog down with the leash, and praise.
Good girl, Lucy here.
Okay, here are the steps. Stop on your left foot, the one near your dog.
Getting a good girl.
Say the word down clearly. Then, with all the leash in your left hand, pull the leash down firmly right to the ground. Keep holding the leash down until the dog lies down comfortably.
Very good.
Praise your dog, but don't allow it to get up.
Good girl, Lucy. Excellent girl.
Then wait a few seconds, say okay or heel to let it up again, and repeat.
Lucy. Down. Good girl, darling.
Once your dog is happy to lie down where you want it to, you can take it anywhere and get it to lie down quietly out of harm's way and right next to you. Perfect.
So that's another word your dog has learnt. See you next time on Wagging School.
Some dogs' behaviour can be more dangerous than annoying, like rushing through doors just because they're open, racing up and down the stairs in front or behind you, or jumping in and out of the car without your permission.
And that behaviour's just plain dangerous for you and your dog. Let's fix it right now.
Okay, put your dog on a 2-metre leash and a training collar and start the lesson by sitting your dog in front of a door that's closed to the outside, one you know that'll be keen to go through. Now tell your dog to stay, use a deep, slow tone of voice so your dog doesn't get excited, and start opening the door. When your dog starts to get up, close the door, pull your dog back with the leash to the same spot where you told it to stay, praise it, and calmly start again. Your dog will eventually stay put when the door is open and will look at you for permission to go through. As soon as it's staying, praise it with a cheerful voice. Now holding the end of the leash and saying stay to your dog, walk slowly through the doorway, turn around facing the dog, hold up your right hand to keep the dog from moving, and keep the leash loose, and when you're ready, say okay or go and allow your dog to come through. And again, praise. Occasionally, go through the doorway, turn around and come back to the dog and praise them, so your dog isn't always expecting to be allowed to go through. Just remember to say stay first. If you practice this often, your dog will be very reliable and also get to enjoy this as a game. Okay, let's try it at the top of the stairs. Say stay and very slowly walk down the stairs to the end of the leash. Keep your signals, your voice and your body calm and slow to show the dog you want it to stay where it is. If you move away quickly, your dog sees that as a signal to move too. Praise your dog for staying. Then calmly return to the dog and keep praising it if it stays for you. Whatever you do, don't pull on the leash. as that's another signal for the dog to move forward. Don't worry if your dog's sitting or standing, as long as it stays where you left it. It's learning the word, which is just what you want. Release the dog by saying, okay, or go.
Okay. Good girl.
To teach this lesson for the car, hold the leash and tell your dog to stay, then slowly open the car door, and if necessary, pull your dog back with the leash. Then praise your dog for staying. Wait a few seconds and then tell your dog to get in the car with a word like okay or go. Again, praise your dog. Now your dog's in the car, have some of the leash overhang the door, hold the end of the leash, and saying stay, gently shut the car door. Wait about 20 seconds and saying stay, slowly open the car door and hold up your right hand towards the dog to stop it from wanting to jump out. Now praise it for staying.
Oh, excellent puppy. Excellent puppy.
It's only allowed to jump out if you say okay.
Okay. Good girl, sweetie. Good dog.
Another time you need your dog to stay is when you go shopping and need to tie your dog up for a while. If you've ever seen or heard tied up dogs barking loudly, you know it's not only embarrassing but annoying to be made to leave just because your dog can't stay quietly for a few minutes. So rather than train it in a public street, start training your dog at home. I've found the easiest way to teach this is at meal times. With your dog on the leash, prepare your dog's meal, then take your dog and its meal outdoors and tie your dog to something secure that won't move and frighten it, and feed it as usual. Repeat this for a few days. Your dog will then associate being tied up as a very nice experience. And when you're just gardening, tie your dog in the shade and calmly garden for a while. When the dog is relaxed, come back and untie it. The main thing is not to excite the dog before or after tying it up. You want to make this a very regular event, no big deal, to show your dog there's nothing for it to panic about. So the more you train your dog, the happier it is, and that's great for both of you. Enjoy your dog. See you next time. Does your dog chase cats? Or is it difficult to walk on the leash if it sees one? Is your dog a garbage guts who bolts down everything it finds on the street or in the park? It can be an expensive outing if it runs out in front of a car chasing a cat or gulps down a sharp bone. Dogs are naturally prey-driven, but there is a way to help them curb that instinctive behaviour. As their pack leader, we do all the hunting and food supplying for them. So let's teach them to leave it. When you're walking your dog down the street and your dog sees or smells a cat or gets excited seeing other dogs, the first thing to do is to say in a strong voice, leave it. Leave it. Leave it. Then turn and walk your dog in the opposite direction to get away from the temptation. Quietly sit your dog so that it's not making eye contact with the object of its desire, and wait a few seconds until it's calmed down. Praise your dog for being calm. Then, saying, leave it, calmly turn around and continue walking on your way. And if it gets excited again, repeat the procedure exactly. After a few streets, your dog will definitely get the message. Be consistent, and every time you see a potential problem, do this leave it lesson. Take control, and your dog will soon be a pleasure to take out walking. It might take a few minutes more to walk your dog, but this lesson will save you a lot of distress in future. Dogs are great opportunists, so given any chance to scoff something tasty when they're out walking is not to be missed. Try this lesson first somewhere quiet without distractions. Have your dog with its training collar and leash on. Then, with the food treat in one hand and the leash in the other, show the dog the treat and say, leave it. Your dog will naturally try to grab the treat, but of course you keep the treat firmly in your grasp and at the same time pull the dog back away from the food using the leash. Never give it the treat. Tempt your dog with the treat, moving it in and away from your dog's nose. Repeat the phrase, leave it, every time your dog lunges at it.
Leave it, leave it, leave it. Good girl, good girl, good girl, good girl. Leave it, leave it, leave it.
Soon your dog will stop bothering. It might keep salivating, but it won't be trying to grab the treat. Next, repeat the words as you place the treat down slowly just in front of your dog, so it could get it if you didn't pull it back. Relax the leash and watch that your dog doesn't try to touch the treat. Now the dog is understanding that you are the giver, and it has to wait until you say it's okay to have it.
What a good girl. Learned that really quickly. Leave it. Good girl. Good girl.
When you're happy that the dog has got that lesson, release the dog by saying okay or heel and walking the dog off. Lesson over. Well done. Then you can take this lesson up a notch. With your dog still on the leash, place some food down where the dog can see you do it and where it can get to it.
Most tasty thing.
Now walk your dog up to it, say the word leave it, and encourage your dog to walk around the food without snatching it. Keep your dog away from the food and praise it. Use the voice, leave it, and a quick jerk on the leash if it goes to jump at the food. Then praise your dog.
Leave it.
So now you and your dog know a really useful word to use when temptations are about. See you next time on Wagging School.
Even though dogs are usually walked on a leash in the streets, all dogs should learn to be under control near roads, just in case they're off leash and get dangerously close to traffic.
Today's lesson is stop and go. Welcome to Wagging School. Come on.
Without training, all dogs will happily run straight across the road, cars or not, especially if there's other attractions around, like another dog or cat across the street. Some people train their dog to sit at a curb before walking across the street, but I always wonder why they do this. Dogs off the leash would not consider running up to a curb and sitting before continuing. It's not a natural instinct.
That's why I'd rather teach my dog to stop at a curb in a standing position, just like it would be if it wanted to cross the road.
Fortunately, a curb is an easy visual cue for dogs to notice. To teach this lesson, choose a quiet, traffic-free street. As with all training, allowing your dog to behave normally, then telling it and showing it what you want, teaches your dog much quicker than stopping its normal behaviour in the first place. Okay, to train your dog to be street smart, use a 2-metre leash and a training collar and walk your dog normally up to a curb. Keep the leash loose so the dog feels free and ask it to stop just as it comes up to the curb. But expect that as your dog hasn't learnt this lesson yet, it'll want to walk straight across the road as usual. So be ready to pull your dog back, up off the road, onto the curb, if it so much as puts a paw down onto the road. As soon as your dog is pulled up and has stopped beside the curb, give it lots of praise to show them that's the action you want.
Stop. Good girl, Lucy, good girl.
Release your dog by going back along the street and practice this many times until your dog seems to be learning the word and action. Timing in training is all important, so say the word stop just before your dog arrives at the curb, not after it's stepped off onto the road. You're trying to stop it on the curb, not on the road. So if your dog steps off onto the road, it's probably due to your timing. So just say stop and pull your dog back until all its 4 paws are back on the curb.
Good girl, Lucy. Good girl.
When your dog's getting this, try the next stage. Again, walk up and say stop to your dog at the curb, then slowly step off onto the road with your right foot, getting ready to pull your dog back up onto the curb with your left hand on the leash. Then step back onto the curb with your dog, praise it and try it all again. The aim is to show your dog that when it hears the word stop, it has to stop where it is, on the curb, wherever. You can move forward, but it can't. So here are those steps again. Your left foot stops at the curb. You say stop.
Stop.
You pull your dog back if necessary. Your right foot steps out onto the road, then comes back onto the curb, and you praise your dog.
Good girl. What a good girl.
To test your dog's stability at the curb, say stop, step out with your right foot onto the road, and slowly pull the dog forward on its leash. This encourages the dog to pull back away from you and the road, which is really what we're encouraging our dog to do.
Girl, Leslie. You're a good girl. You're doing really well.
Okay, now we've taught our dog to stop. The next easy bit is teaching it to go.
Standing on the curb beside your dog, look both ways and with a clear voice say, go,
Go.
and quickly cross the road.
Go. Go. Go.
Now you should repeat this lesson at every single curb from now on. And that's it. Then if your dog is ever off the leash and looks like running across the street, you know what to say. Just say stop.
So now you've got a dog that's street smart. Practice often so your dog's a lot safer. See you next time on Wagging School.
Stop. Very good. That's better.
We know that all dogs will happily come and go in and out of the house, given the chance. So how can you teach your dog to stay outside when the door's wide open? After all, you might be entertaining, but you might not want the dog inside as well, especially if you have guests that aren't that keen on dogs. Luckily, there is an easy way.
Now, if you'd like your dog to stay out of the house sometimes but still be able to keep the doors open, then welcome to Wagging School. Today's lesson is outside.
Just start this lesson by getting ready to sit and rest. Place a chair near an open door. Then, using the dog's collar, take your dog outside that doorway and say the training word outside, firmly and clearly.
Outside.
Then sit and watch your dog. Yes, it's that easy. You can pat the dog as it stays out, but as soon as it goes to come inside, quickly repeat the word outside and push the dog back and block its entry to the house with your hands or legs. Repeat the new word outside as it stays out, so it starts to associate the word with the action. And praise your dog well while it stays outside. All doorways have thresholds which dogs can see and associate with an opening and an opportunity for them to come inside. So use this doorway threshold as your parameter too, and watch that your dog doesn't put a paw over that line.
Good boy, darling.
Dogs are very spatially aware and will quickly test exactly where on the floor it can move before you warn it with the word outside.
Outside. Good
Right,
boy.
now while the dog is outside, calmly act as though you're reading and ignoring the dog. This sends the message to the dog that this word outside must be important to you. After about 30 seconds, look at your dog and praise it for calmly being outside.
Outside. Good dog.
Don't excite it too much or it'll want to run inside to you. But keep using the word outside as it stays out and keep praising it.
Good boy. Good boy, darling.
Pretty soon your dog will give up and relax, so praise it for getting the idea.
Good boy.
Once your dog is calmly staying out, quietly move back a little further from the door, using the word outside whenever you see the dog looking as though it wants to come in.
Outside. Outside.
Don't go too far away from the door in the beginning in case you have to get up fast and block your dog's entry to the house. Be ready to react and your dog will learn this lesson in just a few minutes.
What a good boy. Good boy.
Keep moving the chair back until you're about 2 metres away from the door. But keep repeating outside, and if your dog does accidentally come in, calmly take it back out, repeat the word outside,
Outside.
and move your chair up closer to the doorway and repeat the lesson.
Good boy. Outside. Good boy.
Eventually, you want to be able to walk away out of sight of your dog while your dog remains outside. Right, now the dog is staying outside. To end the lesson, go back to your dog and allow your dog indoors by using another word like okay, and encourage your dog inside. Now your dog knows to stay outside when the doors are all open unless it's invited in.
What a good boy, Clayton. Very good boy. Good boy.
But if you'd rather keep your doors closed and have your small dog come and go in the house at any time, then you might want to install a dog door. So now you have a choice of when your dog comes inside or stays out. They usually end up inside, don't they? Enjoy your dog and see you again next time on Wagging School. Come on, sweetie. Retrieving is more than just a fun game with your dog. It gives your dog a good chance to run hard, satisfies its hunting urge, and it also gives you control over your off-leash dog whenever you have the toy. But for some dogs, this game isn't as easy as it looks. Some dogs pick the object up, but that's all. Some pick it up, then run away. And others might even bring it back to you, but then don't want to give it up.
You're supposed to have retrieved it to me. Didn't you?
Okay, so let's get your dog retrieving properly. The word for today is fetch. Welcome to Wagging School. The students I'm using for this lesson are Chester, a 5-month-old boxer, Georgie, a 10-month-old cavoodle, and Amber, a 12-month-old staffy. And none of them so far understand the rules of this game. Okay, the first step is to find out which object your dog is most eager to have. I've got a rubber Kong filled with treats, a stuffed toy, and a tennis ball. Let's see who wants what. Chester doesn't seem to care at all about the ball. Okay, what about the Kong? No, not interested. Thankfully, he's very excited about the stuffed toy. Good. Gee, the ball isn't exciting Georgie either. Oh, and she used to love that stuffed toy. Oh well, let's hope she likes the Kong now it's full of treats. Yep, that's a favourite. And Amber is more than happy with the tennis ball. Good. When you know what will keep your dog's attention, you can begin the training. With your dog on a 2-metre leash, tease your dog with the favourite toy, hold your dog back, say fetch, and throw the toy about 2 metres away. Then run with your dog out to the toy. Once you reach the toy and your dog picks up the toy in its mouth, move backwards, calling your dog to you. Keep pulling your dog right up to you so you can get the toy back. Then say the word give and gently take the toy from your dog's mouth. Good! Praise your dog well and you're ready to repeat the exercise. Of course, some dogs easily give up the object. Others, like Amber, simply refuse. Pulling the object from your dog's mouth just encourages your dog to pull back and hold on even tighter. So don't bother. Instead, try this.
Good girl.
Hold a treat right next to its nose and say the word give. Most dogs will release the toy to get the treat. Repeat this until your dog learns to give up the toy as soon as it hears the word give, treat or not. Of course, there's always a few dogs who would rather have the toy than anything else, like Chester here. If you have one of those, try this. While saying give, gently push up under your dog's mouth until he opens his mouth. Then gently remove the toy. Practice this until just the word give makes your dog give up the toy. After he understands the give word, you can get back to the fetch part of the game. Don't forget to praise him well, so he'll want to repeat it. Amber loves running after the ball, but won't bring it back. This is often what dogs learn to do when someone's run after them for the ball. So now she thinks this game is chase me instead of fetch.
Let's see if I can teach you to fetch it right back to me. Come on.
The easiest way is to keep her on the leash until she learns to always bring the ball back. Pulling her back to me with the appropriate word will get her learning to bring the ball back. As soon as she gets close, I say the word give, and when she gives up the ball, she gets lots of praise. Once she's consistently bringing the ball right back to me on the leash, it's time to unleash her and see if she's fully learnt the whole fetch lesson. Fingers crossed. Yes, how rewarding is that? And you can't praise them enough when they've totally learnt the lesson.
Okay, so now you've taught your dog how to fetch, the game can go on. Enjoy your dog and see you next time on Wagging School.
While you're on the seat, could you please get off the seat?
Travelling with your dog can be stressful for you and your dog. But you know, it doesn't have to be. Today's lesson is how to travel easily with your dog.
Welcome to Wagging School. Now, could you get off?
The first time you introduce your dog to car travel, make sure it hasn't eaten or drunk anything for at least an hour so your dog doesn't get car sick. Then decide right from the start where's the best spot in the car for your dog. If you have a station wagon, then it's pretty obvious. Although many dogs dislike the wide space and constant movement in the back and don't feel secure. So the solution is to either pack things securely into this big space so the dog is left with a more confined, protected space, or choose another spot in the car. You can also put the dog on the back seat and secure your dog with a harness. Just make sure your dog can lie down with this on. This is an easy option, but it does take up seat space. Otherwise, you can easily teach your dog to travel in the car, either on the front or the back floor, which greatly reduces the chance of car sickness and also frees up the seats for people. It looks small and cramped, but it feels very safe and secure to your dog. And there's a lot less risk of them being injured in the event of an accident. Okay, if you want to teach your dog to travel on the floor, put your dog beside their favourite toy and simply say, on the floor.
On the floor.
Tying their leash to the bar under the seat helps in the beginning to keep them there. Then close the car door, go around and get in the driver's seat next to your dog. Of course your dog has just started learning, so expect them to keep jumping up to look for you. Keep putting them back on the floor while you repeat the words, on the floor, and use your hand as a signal to keep your dog in place. For this lesson, you really don't need to drive anywhere. You're just teaching your dog that you want it to stay on the floor in the car. Praise your dog for doing it right, and you'll find your dog lying quietly on the floor in no time at all. Once your dog is comfortably staying on the floor, the next step is to go for a short drive down a quiet street. So you can stop if your dog tries to move from the floor.
You are such a good dog.
You want to get your dog used to movement in the car and knowing that the most secure place for it is on the floor.
On the floor.
Once your dog is settled, praise it well. Fantastic. Okay, now your dog knows how to travel on the car floor.
You're a good girl.
Whatever place you choose for your dog, do remember dogs can't regulate heat like people, so please never take your dog out in the car on a hot day, especially if you have to leave it in the car even for a few minutes. And if your dog has to travel on a hot day, do use air conditioning to keep your dog cool. Crates are the only way your dog can travel if you're flying around the country with your pooch. To train your dog to not mind being in a crate, it's best to start the training at home. With your dog's bedding in it, encourage your hungry dog to walk into the crate by offering it a treat at the back of the crate so your dog has to walk inside to get it. When your dog's inside, gently close the door and talk calmly to your dog. Don't move away from the crate at all. Just sit nearby for a few minutes praising your dog. Then, when your dog is calm, slowly open the crate door and encourage your dog out. Repeat this always with food treats until your dog is so relaxed about going inside the crate you can keep the door open and it will enjoy staying in there. The next step is to get your dog used to travelling in the crate by taking your crated dog for a short drive in the car so your dog gets used to moving before its first plane trip.
He's a very good dog. So travelling with your dog should be safe and stress-free. See you next time on Wagging School.
Our garden can be a place of calm and refuge, or it can be a bit of a minefield. Many dogs love to dig. Some breeds, like dachshunds or terriers, were actually bred for digging, but most dogs like to dig once in a while.
So what can we do to stop these unnecessary garden makeovers? Let's see. Welcome to Wagging School.
Some dogs like to chew on our prized plants. Judicial pruning, I'm sure. To stop this, just spray a strong mixture of lavender oil and water onto the leaves of your dog's favourite plants to discourage them. But if you have a dog who doesn't seem to mind the taste of the spray, putting up a temporary barricade for a few months will stop their access and their interest. Another favourite garden prank is biting the jet stream of water from the hose. What fun! Some people just don't seem to be able to stop their dog doing this. Well, I have a way. To teach your dog to stop and let you get on with the watering, just say stop. Use either your hand as a signal, but make sure you keep the dog calm while you keep watering. Eventually your dog will calm down.
Good girl. What a good dog.
If you want to start the game again, all you need to say is okay. Now, unfortunately, dogs, like humans, learn from mimicking. So when you plant something, your dog watches you digging in the garden. So they think it must be the right thing to do. So they copy you. So if you can, try and keep your digging out of sight of your dog to stop this mimicking behaviour from starting. Of course, one of the best and easiest ways to stop your dog digging or even thinking about digging is to tire them out. Expend all that digging energy another way. Chasing and digging is all part of a dog's prey drive, so wear them out running so they're just too tired to dig. We also need to consider what's making our dog dig so much. Is it because it wants to make a cool spot in the earth on a hot day? Is it because it's bored or alone all day with nothing to chew but an old stick? Sometimes it's just to see what's there or because it's fun. It really helps to look for a reason or find an outlet for this behaviour. Of course, most dogs like to bury and dig up bones. If you only give your dog a smallish uncooked bone like a lamb shank, it can eat it all in one go. Then there'll be nothing left to bury. Big bones are good dog minders, but they do unfortunately encourage your dog to dig a hole and keep the leftovers for later. But that needn't be a problem. Providing a sand pit or just keeping a section of your garden, especially for your dog to dig in, satisfies that need to dig. Then the rest of the garden can be left alone. But then you need to encourage your dog to use only a section of the garden by putting their toys or some big bones in that section to get them started. Recycling your dog's droppings onto parts of the garden you want left alone works amazingly well. And when you're at home, watch them when you can and keep encouraging them back to their own part of the garden, and you'll find the problem goes away. Then you'll both be happy.
Of course, if you don't leave your dog alone for too long in the garden, you won't have a digging problem. Guess that's easier said than done. See you next time on Wagging School.
You liking that, Tony?
Our dogs love being with us. Just knowing we're around is enough to calm them. But there's always a time when we have to leave them, for a short or a longer time. And some dogs really don't like that.
Separation anxiety is a stressful experience for your dog and a pretty annoying one for you. Let's see how we can fix it. Welcome to Wagging School.
The cause of this problem, I'm afraid, is usually our behaviour, not our dogs. It's the way we leave our dogs that can make a huge difference to our dog's feelings of abandonment.
I won't be long. You'll be a good boy.
Many people feel so guilty at leaving their dog that they make a big fuss. This, unfortunately, makes the dog anxious immediately. Then, when they return home to their dog, the owner makes another guilty fuss over their dog, which totally reinforces the dog's anxiety all over again.
Oh, you're such a good boy.
Did you miss me? Yes, you did.
To remove the separation anxiety from your dog, you need to reprogram your dog by practicing some different departures and arrivals. Act as though you're about to leave the house for a while. Give your dog all the usual leaving the house cues like putting on a coat or putting things in your bag, picking up keys. Then instead of walking out the door, remove the coat, ignore your dog and do things around the house or just sit down and read. As you haven't gone anywhere, your dog won't feel anxious. So after a few minutes, you can quietly and calmly bring him back inside. After about 5 minutes, repeat the whole house leaving scenario. And repeat this until your dog ignores all the cues. When your dog ignores these cues, only then should you quietly leave the house for a few minutes at a time. Then when you do return, completely ignore your dog for a few minutes. Pretend you can't even see them. You need to remove all the emotion from the coming and going, so your dog won't keep anticipating your return and get overly excited and anxious. See, it does work. Okay, so your dog might be fine when left at home, but makes a terrible racket when left tied up in the street. Once again, it's the way we leave and return that's causing this. But let's begin this lesson at home. Every time you feed your dog, first tie it to something secure, then give it its dinner and move away. Then as soon as it's eaten, so it doesn't get a chance to bark, calmly and without speaking, release your dog and ignore it. Do this every day and your dog will start to look forward to being tied up for its main meal. Lengthen the time it stays tethered after its meal, and after a week, your dog should be quite relaxed about this routine. And then you can take some of this training to the street. Start by walking up to every post along a street and tying your dog to it. Stay right beside your dog and give your dog a tiny treat each time. Then untie your dog and move to the next post. Your dog will soon start to expect to be given a treat at each post, and that's good. Now the idea of being tied up isn't looking so bad. Now for the next step. At the very next post, give your dog a treat and step away and ignore your dog. Then quietly come back, untie him and go on to the next post. Remember, don't express any emotion at all when you leave or return. Once your dog has lost that separation anxiety, you need to keep up a calm, emotionless routine of leaving and returning.
Do this every time and the separation problem will simply disappear. Enjoy your dog and see you next time on Wagging School.
Dogs' hearing is very highly evolved, so it's no wonder some sensitive dogs respond fearfully to the threatening sounds and sporadic loud claps of thunder. But other silent things can be a source of fear for some dogs too. For this dog, a set of stairs is a frightening experience, one that requires a huge boost of courage to conquer. Dogs can be scared of almost anything, but happily there are ways we can help them overcome their fears. Welcome to Wagging School. Contrary to popular belief, trying to comfort your dog does not help your dog feel better. Paying the frightened dog attention actually reinforces their fear, as it looks to them as if you're also bothered by the feared object and you're trying to reassure both of you. Of course, that's the opposite of what you're actually trying to show your dog. Whether it's a sound, a person, or an object, you need to desensitise your dog to it. If your dog is scared of thunder and lightning, you need to get hold of a recording of thunder. Either you record it next time there's thunder about, or you can get it off the internet. Then you need to play it softly to start with every time your dog eats its main meal. You want the sound to be subliminal, so the dog begins to associate the scary sounds with something pleasant like eating. Wait until your dog is happily eating, then put the sounds on softly and ignore your dog. If the thunder sound is quiet enough, your dog shouldn't react at all. If it does react, turn the sound right down, ignore your dog, and try it again the following meal. Don't start the sounds until your dog is fully distracted by eating. Keep turning up the sound gradually over a few days until your dog is steady and not reacting at all to the sounds of thunder coming from the recording. Do this kindly and gradually, and your dog will soon be a lot calmer and happier and much better prepared for the real thing. Now, having a dog fearful of stairs can be a pretty big problem if your house has lots of stairs. And let's face it, seeing some stairs the way a dog might sense them, we can understand how they might appear pretty terrifying. The owners have lived with this problem for years, and the only way this dog will walk up and down the stairs is with a reassuring hand on its back. Who knows why this dog is scared of stairs, but it's time it got some help.
We are going to have so much fun now because I think food's better than toys.
First, show your fearful dog, using treats, what it means when you give him a command. Use a word like go, as it's a good, strong, confident sound. Putting treats on a few steps and saying the word go is teaching him that go means he has to move onto the step to get the treat. But don't touch him while he's on the steps. He needs to become fearless just from your confident tone of voice and your calm body language.
Good boy, go. Good boy, go.
As soon as he's walked all the way to the bottom or the top of the stairs, praise him a lot so he feels great.
What a good boy you are. Such a clever...
Now, saying the word go in a strong voice and pointing to the steps shows your dog that he can trust you.
boy, darling.
This is great. He is definitely on his way. Practicing this for a while gradually helps him overcome his fears, and he will feel a lot more confident using the steps.
Good dog, darling.
By always using treats as a way to entice him up and down, he gets rewarded for his efforts.
Go.
Now that he's doing brilliantly, we can start the next stage, getting him to do it on his own. Slowly put a couple of steps between you and your dog and tell him to go. If he walks up or down without you right beside him, that is a huge achievement, so praise him well and do it again quickly while he's happy to continue. When he will go up and down those scary steps on his own, you know you've both won. Keep this up for another few minutes, but do stop while he's still enjoying the game and has confidence. Fantastic!
Removing some big fears from your dog's mind is bound to make life better for both of you. See you next time on Wagging School.